Hello, welcome to what is hopefully be a bunch of series on green stuffing. I've got a little piece of some blue and yellow stuff right here. So the first thing obviously is really to make sure you mix it up good. It's a pretty much no-brainer. The way I do that is I usually will just keep twisting it around on itself. And then, focus. And then squishing it flat, and then rolling it around on itself, and squishing it flat. The twisting, when you twist it really tight, really pushes it together, so makes it just a little faster. Roll it up. Just keep doing this. So how's everybody doing today? Good? Good. Okay, so that's, excuse me, getting pretty close. A little bit of blue stuff stuck on my thumb. See if we can use the that stuff to get it off here. Okay. So that's pretty close. So the first thing I'm going to be making today, just because it's really easy and I'm doing an ergo theme, is some guts. So I've got a bunch of my little tools here. I'm not actually going to need too many of them, but we'll go over that here in just a minute. So I actually have, this is a little case I use to keep all my bits in. It's actually a little photo case. And I'm just looking for a smooth surface to roll this stuff out on. Oops, hit the camera. And actually as I'm rolling it out, let me see if we can get this in focus here. I don't know if you can see, but I can actually see some little blue and green, or blue and yellow striations, whatever you want to call it. You can see that a little bit there. So I'm just going to roll this up a little bit more, just because I want it really mixed thoroughly. At this point, I don't think it would make a difference if I didn't do that, but I'm thorough for the sake of being thorough. Right? If you're going to do something, do it right. I said that before. I'll say it again. Okay. So we'll just roll this out until it's about the size we want for our guts. Just what guts are we going to be using today, you ask? Well, one of my KS bikers, I didn't really feel like going through making another arm for him, so he's going to have an arm made of guts and intestines holding onto his bolt pistol. So I've already started the work a little bit, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. So that green stuff will be okay there for a moment. If we focus in on this guy. So you can see I've actually just got a paper clip stuck in there. And just wrapping the little guts around it. So nothing too fancy to make it kind of look realistic. I don't really want to have a lot of beginnings and ends, like it's just one big chunk of guts. So we're going to push this end in just like so. Now green stuff likes to stick to your fingers more than just about anything else. So it's always a little tricky getting it to come off. But luckily, we're talking about guts. So there it is. It's set on the piece. Now I lick the crap out of my tools, so I got this little guy with this little hook here, and I'm just licking the end of it. I don't know how safe this is. I don't think green stuff's non-toxic, but I shouldn't be ingesting much of it. Just because it doesn't really stick to saliva, so we're just going to kind of push that in. And then, really at this point, I'm just trying to cover up the paper clip and get an even thickness around, so you just kind of push it on itself. If it starts sticking to the tool too much, guess what? Yeah, just lick it a little more. And guts are very random, right? So you can't really do it wrong. You know, just whatever looks good. Now as I'm pushing it in with the tool, I am putting little dents in this green stuff, but intestines also have a lot of texture. So they kind of wrinkle and fold all over the place. So that's just going to add to the effect, making it look pretty nice. Oh, they got it in his eye. Ah! Eye guts. Oh, maybe that's a good idea. Okay. Push that around. And once it's primed, the paper clip in the middle, even if you can see it a little now, won't be seen so much. Okay. And again, I just want to kind of hide where it starts and where it ends. So since I'm out of green stuff here, just going to push that in. Lick my tool. That's what she said. Sorry. And now I'm just kind of adding a little bit of texture to it. Whoops, keep it in camera. So I'm just pushing this on Just put those little grooves in it, you know. Anywhere it looks a little too smooth, a little too good, we'll just push on it a little bit. All right, and I'm just going to keep doing that over and over again. And then I'm just going to use also that to cover up the hands on this little guy here. So I guess while I'm doing this little video, then we'll talk about my tools. One other thing you want to do with Greenstuff is it helps if you've got a lot of stuff to work on. Because what will always happen, anybody who's worked with Greenstuff for any period of time will tell you, I'll be doing this stuff here, and then maybe I'll go to do something like this little bit on this guy, right? So I'm using Greenstuff to kind of make it look like the bolters are part of the horses. And then I'll be doing this, and I'll put my thumb right on it while I'm going to grab something else, and you'll have a big thumbprint and something you just had looking real good. So this guy, ideally, you'd want to just leave and come back to tomorrow. So if you've got a mess of bikers to work on, as I do, I can work on a little bit here, work on a little bit there, and then come back to it. Okay, so a couple little tools that I got. These are dental tools, but the beauty is with sculpting, and if you start looking around, you'll see that most, I don't know about professionals as well, but anybody who sculpts almost always starts making their own tools very shortly after starting to get into it. So this is a great little dental tool that I picked up, and it's got a great little hook. I use it for poking into things, but also if maybe I wanted to make one of these like a little more droopy, I can kind of hook in there and pull it down, right? So it's like, right, because guts are a little saggy too, right? And I just pull down on it. Right, we could just leave it like that, right? It looks all gross. Sweet. This one I find super, super handy. This is usually one of the initial tools that I'll use. So what I use is I'll use that for smushing green stuff into a lot of areas, and then using kind of little circling motions, you can push it out and get it really smooth. This one's really nice because it's got a little bit more of a point on this side and a little blunter on that side, so I can use it to vary texture up a little bit. So while now this is a little dental tool used for fillings, you can make this tool out of almost anything round. If you look through bits boxes and sprues and things like that, you know, take a little skull, something like that, it'll you know, glue it to the end of a popsicle stick. So this here is one of my new favorite ones. This is actually the tip of a Tomb King's whip. It's just glued to a popsicle stick, and it actually started to break. So I put a little green stuff just to firm it up. And this is the tool that I used for all the muscle on this guy. So everything on him is pretty firm, but I would just be dragging it along kind of the shape of the muscle, and I would just score it just a little bit. And it's got, I'm not going to flex it too much, but it has a little flex to it, so you can kind of push in and get a little give with it. So this is also one of my favorites. These, I don't know of a good alternative for this. This might be worth picking up. These are called clay shapers. This is size 0 or 0 or 0. And then you can see they're real soft, real flexible. But that really lets you like kind of brush on and smooth out any little things that you're looking at. So a lot of that being really smooth, that's all thanks to this guy. Just, oh, that's really gross. So those are the tools that I've really been using mostly, but let me show you one other thing. Where is my obliterator? So this guy you've seen. So this shoulder pad I actually did by hand with this tool. And I just pushed it into the little creases. I actually worked on it sideways like that and just slowly kind of push things around back into it, and then use that to kind of get that little gap thinner. But on this side, that's actually, if you look in the jetpacks, see that? So I just use that to press in a couple little circles. So you got textures and things like that everywhere, so don't be afraid to just grab something and glue it to the end of a stick. And I guess in closing, just because I literally just finished this guy, a couple bits of it are still soft. I'll just show you this little spawn since it's really cool. I'm really a fan of this guy. So worked on his hand there. Little guts just pouring out of him. A lot of this A lot of this stuff here is going to be painted differently, so it's going to look like muscle kind of ripping through the skin. So this will be painted really pale. This will all be bloody and pretty gory. This poor guy, might throw a little bit more stuff on him. You can see the muscle ripping out of the shoulder. It wasn't intentionally designed to be looking like he was pooping out guts. I was just using it to cover the rat ogre tail. And then old Bob said, "Is he pooping?" And it kind of looks like that, so I guess he's pooping out guts. Pretty gross. Yeah, I'll just show you all the different angles. Focus isn't so hot. There we go. So again, the skin's ripping out the top there. I'm really happy with how the top of his hand came out. It was the mauler arm, and I didn't want all the rocks and stuff that are on this mauler arm to be shown through, so I clipped them all off, but then I had to cover up all the rough spots. So the trick I used for that was just throwing green stuff on there and making it look like he's got a lot of skin lesions and boils, and you know, he's Nurgle, so I'm really happy with how that spine came out too. And I can show you that maybe in another video. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by, and we'll do part 2, and I don't know what the other stuff we'll do, but we'll do a part 2. See ya.